I wish it could have happened without hurting somebody else.
Today's story is a real shocker. The sinister tale unfolded in Florida, a tale shrouded in abuse, tragedy, and the unimaginable actions of two young souls. This is the disturbing story of Catherine and Curtis Jones, the siblings who, at the ages of 12 and 13, became the youngest individuals ever tried and sentenced as adults for first-degree murder. But there's more to this tale than meets the eye. Keep watching till the end so you can know all about the crucial details. Their journey began in 1985 when Curtis Jones and Stacy Parks welcomed their first child, Catherine, followed by Curtis Jr. in the following year. However, behind the facade of a seemingly happy family, a dark reality unfolded. Curtis Sr. was a vicious abuser, subjecting Stacy to physical brutality that escalated to the point where her uterus was broken during pregnancy. Due to Curtis Jones' abusive nature, she left the house and moved to her parents' home. She hoped to get back to her kids someday, but sadly, that day never came. Catherine and Curtis Jr. lived happily with their dad. They enjoyed spending time together, and there were lots of happy moments captured in photos. However, a few years after Stacy left the family home, Curtis Sr. invited a male relative to live with them. It's unclear if this was to get financial help or simply for the company. Unfortunately, this decision seemed to make things difficult for the Jones children, and their happiness started to decline. The new family arrangement created problems, and the once close bond between the kids and their dad began to suffer. This marked the beginning of a nightmare for Catherine and Curtis Jr. This guy did really bad things to Catherine from the time that she was in kindergarten. Her brother, Curtis Jr., suffered as well. Catherine, in her own words, described herself as the ultimate actress, concealing the pain of sexual abuse that began at the age of 5 and persisted until her incarceration. I was the ultimate actress, a professional at being an A+ student, a social butterfly, perfect kid on the outside, while inside, dealing with the pain of the sexual abuse that I was experiencing from the age of 5 to the date of my incarceration. I didn't know that it was both until it didn't happen. And when I finally did tell my family, I think it was the second or third time I ran away from home and HRS got involved.
When they said that they would take us out of the house, I denied it. I said, no, never mind. I don't want to push through with this, even though, in the report, they said there were indicators of abuse. And my brother told me he believed me. And he said, I know it's true because it's happened to me too.
Catherine and Curtis had always been close. Their lives took a dark turn when they both became victims of the same abuser. In response to this shared trauma, they united more strongly than ever before and vowed to escape the ongoing nightmare that they were stuck living in. In 1994, 1996, and 1998, investigations into child safety were initiated for the Jones kids. The first 2 times, Curtis reported the physical and civil abuse he was enduring to his mother, prompting the investigations. Unfortunately, despite their pleas for help, Curtis Sr., their father, didn't believe their accounts. He would defend the relative responsible for the abuse, even when child safety officers uncovered the man's troubling history. Shockingly, each time an investigation began, it was abruptly dropped, leaving Catherine and Curtis trapped in a harrowing situation with no apparent way out. By 1999, 3 adults were residing in the Jones house: Curtis Sr., his abusive relative, and Curtis Sr.'s girlfriend, 29-year-old Sonia Nicole Spitz. Despite Sonia's outward appearance as a cheerful teaching assistant, the children viewed her as another monster in their lives. She witnessed the disturbing events in the house and yet did nothing to stop them. The same applied to their father, Curtis Sr., further fueling the anger and frustration of Catherine and Curtis Jr. Shortly after the closure of the 1998 investigation, Catherine faced another horrifying incident. While taking a shower, the relative invaded her privacy and began to engage in physical pleasure. Catherine, feeling helpless, crouched in the corner and cried until the ordeal was over. To add to the humiliation, the relative left 50 cents on the toilet seat for her. This deeply distressing experience pushed Catherine to express her darkest thoughts in her diary, designing a plan to kill everyone. After this horrible incident, the siblings made a plan to get rid of everyone who made their lives miserable and turned a blind eye to what was happening to them and the house. So the attack began on January 6th, 1999. He was in the kitchen and I was sitting at the table. I already knew what was going to happen. We'd already talked about it, and she was sitting at the other dining room table. He shot her in the chest, and she tried to grab the phone. And I went, and I took the phone. Curtis fired the gun repeatedly at Nicole until she ceased moving. However, his sister observed him shaking with fear and shock. Worried about him, she took the gun from him and discharged the last 2 bullets onto the patio before proceeding to clean the firearm. I actually took the fingerprints off the gun and wiped it down, and I told my brother that he got hysterical. He had an emotional breakdown because, once again, this is a reality now. This isn't some idea that's in our heads anymore. This is reality. When Curtis was in the midst of a severe emotional breakdown, the 2 kids dialed 911 and reported the incident as an accident. Filled with fear and desperation, they quickly left the house, seeking refuge from the distressing situation. I was trying to calm him down, and we ended up leaving the house because of all the blood and stuff that was everywhere. And I called my best friend, and she came, and we went to her house, and then we went to another friend's house, and I told my brother, if anything happens, I did it. You didn't have anything to do with it. However, the escape was short-lived as reality set in. Catherine and Curtis Jr. found themselves in prison, facing charges of first-degree premeditated murder. Despite their defense team presenting the comprehensive picture of their troubled childhood, including the 3 child abuse investigations, the children's testimonies, and Stacy's heart-wrenching account of witnessing her kids bruised and apathetic, it did not significantly sway the outcome. The prosecution portrayed them as envious individuals who committed the crime out of jealousy, alleging that they wanted Curtis Sr.'s undivided attention. When faced with the option of Curtis receiving a 22-year sentence and Catherine getting 18 years, Catherine requested that Curtis should also be sentenced to 18 years. In the end, both siblings were handed down the same sentence of 18 years behind bars, coupled with lifelong probation, and we had a contact visit right after I got sentenced. The judge ordered it, and that was the last time I saw him. At the tender ages of 13 and 12, Catherine and Curtis were sent to adult prison to serve their sentences separately, with no contact allowed between them. Despite their young age, the siblings, who were best friends, faced the challenges of incarceration with the understanding that only someone going through the same experience could truly comprehend their struggles. In an unexpected turn, Catherine found love and support in Navy officer Senior Chief Ramus Fleming. Their connection blossomed through letters leading to marriage after her release in 2016. Curtis, too, found redemption as an ordained minister upon his release a year later. The story of Catherine and Curtis Jones serves as a tragic reminder of a system that failed to protect vulnerable children from the horrors within their own homes. Their resilience and determination to rebuild their lives speaks to the strength of the human spirit, even after enduring unimaginable pain. Share your thoughts on this chilling case in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our next videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.